call today. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the game against Bethune-Cookman, and then tell us your plans for your open week as you get ready to face Houston on October 2nd.
All right. Well, Saturday night ended up being a great football night, great weather, a little rain early, but it disappeared. So it was a great game, packed house as far as first home game, and we started off slow, but got the flow of the game going, and ended up 41-7 score. Had a chance to play a bunch of players in the game, and that's really great for morale, especially after the couple of games, and then going to the third game to get a chance to play a lot of second string guys. So it was good that way, and we'll get back to practice on meetings on Wednesday and practice through Thursday and the weekend, and get ready for the first conference game with Houston.
We'll take questions for Coach O'Leary. Please *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
We'll take our first question from Chris Brown with BuffaloBills.com.
Hi, Coach. A little bit off the topic here, but I don't know if you're aware of it. Two of your former assistants are facing each other in the NFL on Sunday, in Coach O'Brien and Coach Marone. My question for you is, what do you feel are the coaching strengths of each of those men that you felt helped them most in becoming head coaches at the NFL level? And then maybe what do you felt made them such fast friends when they were under you at Georgia Tech?
Well, they both came up as graduate assistants, so they both got screamed and yelled at all the time. So I guess they had to find friendship in each other. But I think the big thing is they're both very detailed guys, very competitive, understand the game, not just their specialty, whether it's offense or both of the offensive coaches there, but the whole game, defense, special teams, and I'm sure their teams reflect that play. But it'd be interesting. I never like to play friends as far as the game's concerned, because every coach is so competitive that you hope good things end from it. But I think it'd be a great game, and I haven't spoken to any of them, but I think the big thing is that I'm sure down deep they want to win that one and have a beer after it sometime during the season. But I think the big thing is that it'll be interesting to see. We have an open date, so I hope I get a chance to see the game, if I at least get parts of the game looked at and stuff, if I'm not practicing. And I'm happy for both of them. I think they both worked extremely hard to get where they are, and again, I know they're great friends and great competitors, so it should be real interesting.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
We'll take our next question from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Going into, obviously you have a break here before you go into that game against Houston, but when you go into this work week, even though it's a bye week, what are some of those key areas that you want to improve on, knowing that you had those 2 losses early on in the season? What are some of those areas that you really want to hone in on while you have this extra time to do so?
Well, we usually self-scout ourselves after the 3 games and see exactly what segment play that we're not efficient in, and that's the time we spend usually on Thursday and Friday this week, as far as, it may be red zone, it could be short yardage, it may be things that we're not playing as well as we need to play to be successful on either side of the ball. So we sort of mix and match a little bit and help each other out. We go against each other a bunch to get that done rather than show teams, so we can see some speed and just toughness at the point of attack, so we can actually evaluate what's going on. But I base it off basically a self-scout and what we appear to need work on, and what both sides can probably get better from by going against each other. So that's where we spend our time.
As far as leadership for you this season, what can you say about some of the guys that have stepped up despite a couple losses early on that, not only helped in Bethune-Cookman, but are going to help you going into Houston, BYU, and the rest of the season?
Well, yeah, we have a number of seniors, I think 20, and most of them are sometime, either are playing on offense or defense or special teams, which I think is good for your senior class. You don't want a senior not seeing the playing field. So I try to make a point to make sure that if they're capable of playing and helping us, that we try to get them on the field somewhere because of morale. And, of Because I think you're only as good as your senior class. Not from a standpoint of playing, but a standpoint of leadership, whether in the locker room or off the field. But, right now jumping out on the defensive side is Clayton Gathers and Brandon Alexander and Thomas Niles. And on offense, basically the guys who need to, and they are, is Torian Wilson, Joey Grant. I always believe that you need down linemen to step up and be leaders. The skill guys, we have some seniors there, and J.J. Ward and Josh Reese. I mean, they're stepping up, and that's pretty much. You don't need a lot of them. You just need the ones that are respected, that don't say something and don't do it yourself. That's what I look at. But overall, collectively, I think it's hard to find outright leaders anymore. I think collectively the senior class has to be the leaders, and that's how I've always treated the program.
And then lastly for me, Blake Bortles got an opportunity to get in, your old quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's the starter from here on out. When I saw you at the American Kickoff, we talked about, how he wasn't really pronounced when he was that third pick. People didn't really talk too much about him. But what can you say about his work effort and knowing that he's going to be the starter in Florida for the Jaguars?
Well, I'm glad he has the opportunity, and it's a positive and a negative. I think the game is a lot different coming off the bench than coming in as a wipe-up guy as far as from the sideline. But I think the big thing is that he just has to be himself and play within the game. Don't try to do things you're not supposed to do. And he's a pretty fast study, Blake. And I hope he can take the job and run with it and basically just move the chains and do the things that Jacksonville needs him to do to get a win.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
We'll take our next question from Shannon Owens-Green with the Orlando Sentinel.
Hey, Coach. A couple questions for you. Houston has a bye week this week as well as you guys. Do you feel like it puts you more on an even footing when the team that you're playing also has a bye week?
Oh, I don't think anybody wants to play a Saturday game before a Thursday game. I think they work their schedule out so that don't happen. I think a short week doesn't help young kids at all. And I think most people, when they work their schedule out, there's an open date. The TV tries to accommodate you on that as far as getting things done. And I think a couple of times in my career we played Saturday, then played Thursday again. It's normally when you're talking the end of the year towards Thanksgiving or something like that.
Okay. And also, have you gotten any further insight into Rennell Hall?
Rennell basically, there's no appeal process on any targeting charge, and so he would be ineligible for the first half of the game against Houston.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Coach, we thank you for the time today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Thank you very much.